Have you ever been around someone and thought to yourself, wow, that person is so charismatic. I wish I could be charismatic just like that person, because I think if I was charismatic like that person, I'd get more opportunities, or more good things would happen for me, or I'd have more friends, or I'd get more promotions, or whatever it is. Like, you see that person and you're like, man, that person's charismatic, and I'd love to be charismatic just like that. Well, I've got good news for you. It is possible for you or anyone to become a more charismatic individual, because it is a skill that can be developed, and I've identified 5 specific traits of charismatic people that I'm going to teach you in this video today that you can start developing for yourself so you can become charismatic. But before we get there, it's really important to know why. It's why Simon Sinek's TED Talk went viral, because he says, start with why. And we want to know, why do you even want to become charismatic? There are 2 major reasons. By the way, I'm J.J. Peller, author of this book, Attract Your Potential, and the 2 reasons that you should want to become charismatic. Reason number 1, so that you can attract people to you. Just like when you observe that charismatic person, you're like, wow, I want to be around that person. When we see charismatic people, we're like, they attract us to them. And if you've observed that for yourself, then you probably are that person that's like, man, I'd love to be charismatic so I could attract people to me. Now, why is that important? It's important to attract people to you because anything that you want to have, do, accomplish, achieve, create in this world will only happen by working with and through other people. So when you become the kind of person that's charismatic and can attract more people to you, then you have more opportunities to turn your dreams into reality and to achieve your goals, because it is with and through those people who you attract to you that you can accomplish your biggest goals. Now, the second reason you should want to become charismatic, in my opinion, is so that you can inspire people. That's right. When you have the chance to, number 1, attract people to you by being charismatic, but number 2, inspire other people, it feels so fulfilling. Like, if you are truly a genuinely charismatic human, then you will inspire people. You will have the kind of energy and magnetism and personality and attitude that will just light something special up inside of the people that get around you. So if you're attracting more people to you and you're the kind of person that inspires people, I'm telling you, it will completely transform your life and start to help you accelerate your success in any direction that you want to go. Now let's get to the 5 traits of charismatic people. The first thing that all charismatic people do is they make other people, everyone they interact with, feel like not just an important person, but the most important person. People who are charismatic have a way of helping you to feel like you're the only person that matters in the world in the moment that they're speaking with you. And this isn't fake, because if you are a genuinely charismatic person, you actually do care about other people. I have found that the most charismatic people very often are also the most caring people. Because the reason, or part of the reason they're so charismatic and magnetic, is because when they get around other people, they just get excited and they feel so joyful and grateful to have the chance to be around other humans and to hear the stories of other people. And so that's what makes them charismatic, or part of what makes them charismatic is they genuinely care about you and anyone they speak with. And they make you feel like you're the most important person. There are actually 4 specific things that they do really, really well to actually execute on making you or anyone they speak with feel like the most important person. Number 1, they're fully present. They are fully present and engaged with you. Like, they're right there with you. They're right there with you. They're not looking at their watch. Their phone beeps. It doesn't matter. Their phone probably doesn't beep anyways. They're not looking at their phone. They're not looking around. They are right there with you, fully engaged. And the second thing they do then is they listen intently. You know, one thing that most humans these days are starving for is to feel seen and heard. And why is that true? Because most people don't actually listen intently. But charismatic people do. They listen so intently because they care so deeply about what you're saying now and what you're about to say in the conversation that they're not going to move their attention away from you. In the time that they're with you, they will listen intently. Third, they'll ask authentically curious questions. What that means is they're genuinely curious about you and your story and what you're talking about, what you care about. Even if they have zero interest in the topic, they care so deeply about other people that they're going to ask you questions in a genuinely curious way. Not just to check the box and ask some questions, but you will feel like they're actually curious about you. Do you know why? Because they are. They are actually curious about you, so they ask questions that are curious. Number 4, they show interest with physiology. And what that means is they'll lean into the conversation. You'll see, like literally in their eyes, you will feel that they're paying attention. Their body language will show that they're right there with you. They'll maybe even lean in. Their eyes will open if you're telling a surprising story or you share something cool, or they'll smile. Like physiology, with their physiology, they will be right there with you in the midst of the conversation. The second trait of charismatic people is, and I'll tell you in a second how to do this second trait, they have a magnetic, powerful energy that other people feel. When you get around charismatic people, their energy is palpable. You can feel it. Like you feel it exude from them so strongly that it's almost like a magnet. That's why they say charismatic people are magnetic. Now the question is, why is that the case? And then how can you develop this magnetic, powerful energy so that you can also be a charismatic person? Number 1, they're self-confident. You say, well, JJ, that sounds easy, but the truth is they are just so self-confident that they don't need outside validation, that the reason they're talking with you is not because of they need like your validation to have confidence. Like they are so confident they're talking with you in that conversation that nothing else matters. That's why nothing else matters to them. They don't need validation from other people. They're not seeking it. They're just genuinely, authentically self-confident. And there's, outside of the scope of this video, there's ways to develop that self-confidence, but one thing I've found for self-confidence is how you view the past. Self-confident people don't look at the past and say, well, I failed or I fell short or, I was never enough. They look at the past and they realize that the past is an experience to be learned from. They have a growth mindset. So when self-confident people look at their past or their past mistakes or failures or shortcomings or the times they weren't enough, they look at it and they say, how can I learn from that? How can I gain perspective or wisdom or insight so that I can better myself and move forward? It's never about beating themselves up. It's always about developing themselves now by using what's happened in the past. The second thing that charismatic people do is they are excited about the future. By the way, this is how they have that magnetic energy. They're excited about the future. Like they have a vision about what the future could be like for themselves, for the world, for the people they're talking with. And they're just like, they're so jacked up and fired up about what the future's gonna be like that they can't help but have this excitement running through them. And you feel it when you're talking with them. And that's that energy, that magnetic presence, that powerful presence. A big part of that is because they see a future that very few people see. They have such a big, bright, exciting vision for the future that they feel the excitement right now today as they're talking with you. Then the third thing they do to have that magnetic, powerful energy is they're grateful for the present. They're grateful for the present. They're grateful for the chance to talk with you. They're grateful to be alive. They're grateful for the things that are happening. Even for the bad things that are happening, they're grateful for it because they know that even those challenges, those struggles, the suffering can serve them a purpose, can serve the bigger purpose for their life. And so they're just in awe of life. They're so deeply humbled by the fact that they get the chance to live life regardless of what it looks like, that this gratitude is so strong and evident inside of them that it comes through as a magnetic, powerful presence. Some of the most powerful, magnetic people you will ever meet in your life, the most charismatic people, have the greatest level of gratitude. And it is that sense of awe for life, that thanks, that appreciation for the chance to even be here standing, having a conversation with you that makes that person magnetic. The third trait of charismatic people is they tend to speak with passion and enthusiasm. Like they're so excited about the future, they're so grateful for the present that they're just, when they speak, which by the way, the majority of the time they invest with you, they want to be asking questions and listening because they care so deeply about you and they want you to feel like the most important person in the room in the moment that they're talking with you because they believe you are. But they also, when they speak with passion and enthusiasm and excitement, and it gets you excited. You can't help but feel excited and enthusiastic and positive and uplifted when you hear a charismatic person speak, because that person speaks in such a way that there's so much conviction about the future, about what they're working on, or so much passion that they speak with about the projects or their mission that, man, we get excited listening to those charismatic people talk about the stuff that they're excited about. And the fourth thing they do really well besides speak with passion, and this fourth trait, is they draw you in with stories. Charismatic people are great at telling stories that are compelling and exciting and filled with drama. Not drama in the sense of like, oh, I can't believe he said, she said, blah, 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 blah. Like drama, like it's just a really good movie, has great dramatic scenes, intense, adventurous. It stirs your curiosity and your passion. They are great at telling stories. And this is a skill you can develop. There are all kinds of videos and books out there to develop the storytelling skill, but you can develop it. Now, the best thing I can tell you for developing the ability to tell stories is to just practice. Practice speaking to your phone or making a video or talking with a friend or a family member. Say, yeah, this one time, blah, 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 and just tell the story. You will get better the more often you practice just telling a very simple, straightforward story about your life, but say it and speak it with enthusiasm. Share it with passion. Share it with a sense of excitement from yourself, a sense of like, this story was crazy. For you, if the story itself was dramatic and exciting and passion-filled, and you felt alive in the experience, or it was a crazy experience, like if you feel that yourself, then it will come through you as you speak it, as you share it. And the fifth thing that charismatic people do incredibly well, and this is a vitally important one, probably the most important one, is they speak to you or anyone they speak with as if that person's potential is limitless, as if that person can do incredible things, because you will leave a conversation with a charismatic person feeling like you are unstoppable, like anything is possible for you, that you've been settling to this point in your life for way less than you're actually capable of. Because when you leave a conversation with a charismatic person, you will have this sense of possibility, a sense, a belief that you have so much more potential inside of you, that you are made for more. That's why, back to the start of this conversation, what did I tell you? I told you that charismatic people, why you should want to do it is reason number two, you will inspire people. And that's what happens when you talk to a charismatic person, because that person will not just speak to you, but they will listen to you as if your potential is virtually limitless. I heard a quote by the great motivator, Les Brown. I'm going to have to look up where he found it from or who said it originally. But he said something like, if you speak to someone as if they are the person they are, they'll remain that way. Or if you speak to someone as if they are who they are today, they will remain that way. But if you speak to someone or you interact with someone as if they can become something great, then they will become something great, because we need people in our lives to speak belief and faith and confidence into us, to fire us up, to rekindle that inner spirit of belief and possibilities. We all need encouragers in our lives, and charismatic people encourage people simply by the way they show up, with how they communicate, with how they even look at you. They look at you as if you are capable of virtually anything, and you feel it. Not only do you feel it, you start to believe it. So friend, if you want to truly be that person that draws and attracts more of the right people to you and inspires those people to be their very best while giving you the opportunity to tap into more of your greatest potential, then work on these 5 traits of charismatic people and you will become a charismatic person.